65 tribes, 300 teams. So we really try to push, it's one team, it's a virtual team.
We have been living through a global pandemic that none of us could have really foreseen. It has changed the way we operate as an organization and has put stress into the organization and the setup, and you need to be even more nimble and adaptable. How do you ensure and lead to serve that SEB is an agile organization? How do you drive agility within such a large organization like SEB? You talk about you're leading 3,000 people. How do you inspire for agility?
No, I think, speaking about the pandemic, started, I would say is for real 4 years ago in saying we need to be faster. We need to get out with our products a lot faster. Almost all our products we do is a technical component with a lot of human skills to it. But so we said that when we develop new stuff, it is in an agile setup. And I don't think everybody does that in that way. Of course, the tech organization, I would say always, but for a long time work in an agile way. But we are actually a bank having, I think it's 65 tribes, 300 teams. So we really try to push, it's one team, it's a virtual team. So if we would say now it's mortgages that is interesting and trading is less interesting, we could also much easier switch and try to say, let's devote more time here. In having it just as a line organization would have made it a lot trickier. So we really try to create these cross teams. And what is also interesting, when we do our planning for the quarter to come, what are the new inventions, the new stuff we're going to do, we spend 1 week jointly with the whole bank, and that's all of us, having the roles of doing business development. And then during that week, we decide what to build. And I think that is a really fantastic, and also the pandemic helped us to do that online. Before we were traveling a lot, and now we saw that it's even better to do these kind of large scale PI plannings online because everybody can participate, everybody feels equal. So a lot of things has also helped us during the pandemic to work differently and smarter.
Yeah. Now, always aspiring to work differently and smarter is, I totally with you on that one. And we live in constant change. My concern sometimes is though when you say constant change, you can end up in a change fatigue. And with change fatigue, my experience is that some people just bend over their head or over the desk and say, okay, another change is coming, but there's going to be more to come. So I'm not going to jump on this train. And some people get super nervous when they hear change. How do you avoid change fatigue?
Yeah, I think we will react differently to this world, such change. I speak very much about continuous improvements. Of course, there are areas where we do that it's groundbreaking and completely new, like we have worked together with SEBX that is new. But a lot of things we do is something that we evolve. It's continuous improvement. And I think when you introduce it, to say, let's move the stuff to the cloud, depending on how you do it, it doesn't feel like a big change. So I think it's very much about your approach and how you feel involved, that, I get the time to learn, I'm part of this. It's the same thing now going to hybrid way of working. Somebody thinks it's a super big change, and depending how we communicate about this and how we do it, maybe it's not.
I was thinking about picking up another buzzword, digital transformation. People throw this digital transformation all over. How do you build digital transformation that has a meaning and a purpose?
Personally, I'm not so fond of the buzzword, but somehow you need to say it anyhow, otherwise you're not even in. But I think for us it starts with the business plan of the bank. Where do we want to be 2030? So I think when we relate it, we try to describe, how should we be positioned, what do we think happens in the market, what happened with society, and how would our platform be? And then we have put the concept together to say, first of all, we're going to work on how is the interaction going to be for the customer? It's going to be a lot more digital. It's going to be a lot more mobile. How can you continue to improve that one? That is the first puzzle piece. The other one we speak a lot about is the products. the products need to be more flexible, they need to scale, they need to be reused. We're going to work a lot more with partners to create these products. And then we speak about the core, I mean, the core of our systems. We have a lot of what somebody would call, you know, old systems, but they are the core today. How can we do that architectural transformation? How can we move them to the cloud in a smart way? How can we build with API first? So we speak very much about our own pyramid, our SAP language, you know, where you have the interaction, but also the bottom end, how we really build scalable and secure and sustainable solutions. So we try to, you know, show that pattern of the pyramid, say we need to work with all the parts. Some parts we need to put more effort in, but we can't forget any one of that part.
I like the pyramid approach. It's a very visual way of actually leading that transformation. So I really like that one. It's a good way of
yeah,
showing
I actually had
it.
one team, they told me that we actually see afterwards or before when we plan, where will we spend our money and our time? If you don't spend anything on the interaction with the client, you will have a lousy solution. If you don't work on the security, so they actually try to see, you know, where did we spend our time? Are we spending it right? So it can help a lot.